Big Ed here, and today we are bringing you the Ruger Super RedHawk, and this one is in 44 mag. So this is a double single action revolver right here, so you can double action and single action. It's all stainless steel construction. The barrel in this particular model is 7.5 inches long. They also make an Alaskan version of this that's, I believe, like a 2.5, 3 inch barrel. It's basically made to be more concealable, easier to carry, basically for defense against, you know, a bear, moose, something in that nature. You know, a big predator that could go after man. You know, not designed to be a hunting gun. And they also make this with a 9-inch barrel or 9.5-inch barrel. And as you can see, this one on the top of the frame right here has cutouts to mount a scope. And this revolver does come from the factory with scope rings, which is pretty cool. So let's go ahead and we'll talk about the construction of this, because I'm a big Smith & Wesson fan, and I basically traded for this revolver right here. And I've definitely been in the market for a Smith Model 29 or 629, or, you know, one of the Performance Center series, and one of those could still be my future. But you know, I was lucky enough to come across this, and my biggest attraction against one of these was basically the aesthetics of it. I knew Ruger, the reputation of these guns from Ruger is kind of heavy duty. These are the tank of 44 Magnums. And 44 Magnums is a very versatile cartridge that you can load up very hot, you know, or else you can load mild ones or buy mild ones. Same thing, you can buy real hot ones, everything in the, you know, the spectrum of 44 Magnum, and that this gun would shoot those. It's going to shoot, you know, the Buffalo Bore, the Plus P pluses, you know, that are rated at 1,500 pounds of energy at the muzzle, you know, shooting, you know, a 310 grain bullet, you know, probably 1,400 feet per second. But as you can see, the construction of this right here, you know, you have the barrel right here, and the barrel is fitted inside of the frame, and the frame of this revolver is so large that it actually comes out onto the barrel to help strengthen the revolver. And that's definitely the claim to fame of these revolvers, is the strength of them. So let's get a closer look at this. So you can see it's a six shot revolver right there. My dog's running around. And this revolver is interesting because it has 3 points of lockup. You can see that little tang right there that sticks out. That locks up into the front of the frame. Then you have your rear pin that locks up in the back of the frame. And then you'll also have, you know, your indexer right there that will lock up the bottom of the cylinder. So, and I believe Smith & Wesson's, I have the L frame, which is a 686, would be the N frame, which is the standard 44 Magnum one. They just lock up in the back and then have the little tang right there. The sights right here, you have adjustable sights. You know, you can have a little screw in there to adjust that rear sight, and also you can drift up the front one. I have looked on eBay, and they do sell these they do sell sights for these, so you can get fiber optic sights. When you shoot a 44 Magnum, just with any gun, you want to make sure you have good ear protection on, especially for these big Magnum revolver cartridges, 357s, 44s. And these are just factory loads. These aren't even the real hot ones that you could, you know, buy and load up by hand. But we're going to go out and we're going to take out this Evo 3-liter right there and, you know, see what this thing will do to it. I'm going to go for single action. So we've got one all the way in the distance, a red 3-liter. Let's go see if we can whack that up. So this is designed as a hunting revolver. It is large. My hands aren't that big, but literally this is, it feels like you would need like a size like 14 or 15 boot to get this revolver to disappear in. And it's heavy. This is 53 ounces. I'm going to recommend a holster for this. You know, you could carry it in a belt holster right here, you know, hanging off a very strong and sturdy belt. But I would really recommend more, you know, some sort of shoulder holster. I was looking at the Galco Kodiak, and I ordered one, but they sent me the wrong one. And so I'm waiting to get the new one, you know, in the mail, because I had to return the old one. They sent it for the scope model. I really don't have intentions of putting a scope in this. I think this is cool, and I can shoot this pretty well with the iron sights. I was shooting it with a buddy of mine last week, and we were shooting at a Coke can on a tree branch, and we were far away from it. I think we were about 40 yards away from it, and I was able to tag it with this thing a couple times, and we were shooting at it with a Glock 19. We could not tag it with the 19 at that distance, but we were able to do it, you know, with this. And one thing that leads to this gun being accurate with the iron sights is the 7.5-inch barrel is your sight radius. The revolver also does have a pretty nice single action pull. I looked at reviews on this before I traded the guy. People did complain about, because a revolver like this, you're really looking for that, to me a big one, you're looking for that single action trigger pull so you can get a nice accurate shot. Now let's talk about the cartridge this thing shoots. We'll talk about 44 Magnum. And 44 Magnum, it's a big cartridge. That is a big boy, and they're definitely cool. So this gun is a little pricey. I believe this is listing for brand new $850. These are selling for just as it is with the scope rings and your plastic case. And 44 Magnum, basically the cheapest you can kind of find it for is like $44, $45 a box plus tax. So you're basically looking at you know, $50 a box of 50. So it's you know, it's going to run you $1 every time this gun goes bang. You know, which sounds like a lot, but it's not so bad because you fill up a cylinder with this thing, and this gun's, you know, it recoils heavy, and you go ahead and you shoot it, and you're not just rattling off rounds with this thing. The Charter Arms 44 Special I have a review on. 44 Special sometimes costs more than 44 Mag, and all it is the cartridge is a little shorter and has less powder in it. So basically mimics, it's very similar to a 45 ACP. And 44 Special was a predecessor to 44 Magnum. Elmer Keith was very instrumental in the creation of 44 Magnum, and he used to take 44 Special brass and load it up real hot, you know, and shoot it out of old revolvers. And yeah, and as far as shooting a big revolver, this thing is heavy, as I mentioned earlier. It's 53 ounces, so it's got a lot of heft behind it, but it still needs to be respected. And I don't recommend this for a first-time handgun buyer, not at all. I would recommend getting a 357 revolver first, because then you can shoot 38s in it and then work your way up to the 44 Magnum, because when you shoot this, you kind of realize that this is the big brother of a 357. The same gist is kind of there, that recoil. So as you can see, and there my dog, he's gonna go check it out. What do you see, buddy? Yeah, it's that sugar-free fruit punch. Doesn't like it. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. It really was. What a ton of fun. What a great fun gun to shoot. You know, with a good pair, not a good pair of gloves, just with a pair of gloves, they can be paper thin. But it just takes that away. I could probably wrap my trigger finger with a Band-Aid, probably accomplish the same thing. But you know, I could just about shoot this all day long. As you can see, we showed some good accuracy with this thing, you know, nailing those 3 liters from, you know, good, you know, at least 40 yards away. And we nailed it square on. You just take your time, get that real good trigger pull, real clean trigger pull. You can wring a lot of accuracy out of this just with these iron sights on here. And just a ton of fun. You know, deserves respect. And you also, another point I wanted to bring up, you don't have to be a hunter to buy this gun. I wouldn't recommend this for self-defense, you know, home defense. I don't think this is the greatest choice. A little too big, a little bit of overkill. 44 Magnum. You know, problem you'll have with over penetrating. I mean, loaded up with 44 specials, I think that's a decent choice. But you don't need this big of a heavy of a handgun with this long of a barrel to do something like that. You know, and it's going to be tougher to carry something like this. Also, it's bigger, it's heavier, tougher to wheel it around. You're not going to have any hearing if a 44 Magnum goes off indoors. I think it would be a bad idea. Also, your over penetration problem. You know, you can load these up with the 300 grain bullets. You know, even some of the 270s, even probably a 240, a good hard cast wad cutter. You know, they say that those will punch through a 700-pound elk. You know, you'll get a double lung and it'll go in one side and come out the other. And that's what I've read, you know, with some of these hot 44s. And that's a big animal. And, you know, that's a lot of bull, a lot of power behind it. So you definitely want to have some respect. But, you know, if you just want to have a big revolver and, you know, load some of these rounds in there, and you know, feel the size of some of these things, it's a ton of fun. And it's a great round, great cartridge, and you know, great for you know, target shooting. Also, 44 Magnum and Special are known to be very accurate too. You know, you can definitely do some good bullseye target, some good silhouette shooting with these, and just you know, have an overall, just have a lot of fun with these. But yeah, it's just a ton of fun. But folks, if you have any questions, feel free to post them below. You know, feel free to give me a thumbs up if you like this video. You know, and subscribe if you like my channel. I'll keep the good videos coming. Also, I have a chronograph coming in the mail too that I ordered. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna load up. That'll probably take me some time. We're gonna load up some 44 Magnums, and we're gonna do some testing with some hotter loads. That's the fun stuff. And but also I have some 357s already loaded up. When the chronograph comes, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna crony some of these 357s and see what they're coming out of my revolver at, and see what these things look like. But again, folks, thanks for watching.